I'd love to see it happen as well. Grim Gate is where we'll be starting off, though. The non-stop battles with Cheatin, Kiduo, Merstash, Malabuka. Last match, Cheatin and Kiduo were able to get the medallion and take out Merstash, Malabuka early on. Can we get some sort of a repeat here as the action starts quickly?
Yeah, straight 50-50. They're just trying to break through the builds while there isn't much to go around. But you can see Malabuka's just doing it from a distance. Doesn't really want to get caught off guard. Chasing them around. Lacking just a little bit of shields. Malabuka Merstash got the best of the drop so far. It's really gonna hard to be battled back from a position just like this because there's so many corners you can hide around, so many nooks, crannies to get in between to really keep your position unknown for Malabuka Merstash.
Looking to maintain that advantageous position here. Finding angles from above, from the sides, anything to get that big shot off. Cheatin, though, as well, looking to see if they can find something. All it takes is one big shot, one big connection to open up the chance to play more aggressive. Cheatin, I like this from him. Looking for angles, but he gets caught off guard. Down to 40 HP now. Merstash, Malabuka with the upper hand. Pressure is on as they continue to aggress. Merstash picks up one. Kiduo now left alone. 2v1 is not looking good as Merstash cleans it up. But you got to be careful, Jacob. The third parties, they're ready.
Yeah, Malabuka's already down. That's Astral Art skill. They quickly third party this fight. Merstash is trying to stay alive, but he goes down yet again. The struggles continue for Malabuka and Merstash, but I will say the shining hope, the silver lining is going to be, if this was yesterday, they have enough points to go into another upper bracket matches, but you don't want to wait until the last and final day, especially when you're the Major 1 champs.
You really don't. Perfectly executed third party. Hi Joe now as well, picking up one more for the two-piece at Lavish. Little banter. It's a good way to start, though, getting those elims off spawn with only 2 chances left. A lot of the players who are kind of lower on the leaderboard will be playing more for that victory royale here. If you're kind of on the borderline, just in between that top 25, which right now is at around 60 points, you're going to want to maintain that consistency and pick up as many points as possible.
Yeah, and just kind of looking back at yesterday, it was in that 5th and final game where it was a 38-point jump for 25th place. So even though some of these games are going pretty quick, you're seeing a lot of action very, very early on. If you want to find yourself inside of that leaderboard, these are the last couple chances. Forzen, Silly, just trying to sneak up third party, Brawler's Battleground. And this might be a good chance because normally they take another fight on the other side of where they're at on that mountain. And this time around, they're just quickly trying to go for a third party.
Looking to see if they can find an angle. Patience can be key in these situations. Forzen showing that. Question is, though, it's also a bit of probability on if your opponents will walk by you. But he could tell that they're running away. So now from patience to aggression as they start pursuing. Looking to see if they can land some shots at least just to get a bit of damage. But you got to be careful. Silly Seb now forced to pop a mini here. They do have the upper hand in terms of positioning, but if the duos down below hold their ground, it's going to make it quite difficult to aggress.
Yeah, you're kind of fighting them where they're kind of set up on the low ground. You got to imagine the space that they got, but Silly tries to sneak in. Takes a huge shot, dropped down to just 19 shields. A lot of the resources being expended in this early game fight, and it almost leaves you with a decision. Do I disengage, or because I spent already so many builds, resources, heals for this fight, it almost leaves me no choice but to try to finish. And I think in a lot of situations, teams kind of feel stuck in those situations.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think we'll see either duo completely look for the full-on duel. For Pixie, though, his dual partner, they're also going to play more of a passive route here on the rotate.
You can kind of see just trying to use as much of what's around the map so that way they can save it for later on in this same game. With the little fire pit, just got to use a little bit of wood just to get your HP up as quick as possible. And you can see I wouldn't say a lot of slow and downtime around the map, but you see a lot of adjustments being made from different teams. Jannisz and Flickzy, they take down Belusi this time around. So very few teams are actually focusing on engagements, close range battles. Everybody else is just worried about positioning and possibly preparing for the next bunkers.
Well, actually, look now. They have chosen to play aggressive now. And they've even managed to pick up one of the players. Potential third party from shots far away. I don't think they'll keep progressing from Mount Olympus, though. But they will possibly pursue Akira here. Looks like they're kind of peeking around, seeing if they can hit any more shots. But Akira's kind of stuck on the edge of the map here. Not too many places he can actually go to. So it's a matter of time before Forzen and Seb get closer here. You can see they're even kind of preparing themselves, farming a bit more, healing up, making sure they have the highest probability to come out on top here. Akira's gonna have to pop off to win this 1v2.
Oh, that space there is crucial. Slides into the box, almost makes it happen. Magic just around the corner, but quickly Forzen was able to take him down. That almost got so scary because then he could have created separation, tried to heal back up, and fight the 1v1 because they are so isolated in the southern portion of the map. There would have been no third-party potential. It would have been straight mano-y-mano.
Jannisz Flickzy holding true to the consistency throughout the day. As now with that one elimination, they're playing more on the uncongested side. Don't really want to get themselves into any sticky situations, so they'll take shots from afar but keep rotating as the ultimate goal here. On the north side of the zone by Reckless. It's actually for 9 and Moneymaker, the duo that caused them a bit of trouble in the last match. Pink and Vico, I'd love to see this duo take home a VR today. Going against Clownsky and Axe Force though, and Vico being cracked. This could be tough.
Yeah, just constant spray. Pink just gets his shields taken down. Vico was trying to create separation just so he could heal. So you got 2 weak players. Axe Force is quickly hot on the chase, trying to take those pieces underneath his control, but gets boxed up momentarily. Fires back a good shot to try to keep himself alive, but multiple angles coming out from Pink and Vico. They're finding so much success with a monster shot. Vico does it again, taking down Axe Force while on the back foot. Just quick thinking from him and Pink to just attack from multiple angles, turning what they were trying to play defensive into an offensive fight.
What a way to control that engagement. Wow. The odds were definitely not in their favor, but quickly enough, turning it around, putting their opponents in panic. As now Vico said, you can get away. Not anymore. Aggression continues as now the box fight once again. 4 boxes made by Clownsky. Doing anything he possibly can to try and stay up here. Chug Splash is used now. Good amount of shield for both players. Should Vico and Pink actually commit to this? If you look at the mini-map, there's more duos close by, which rises that threat. But I think they won it. Something's telling me that they won it, Jacob.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they want to let it go for free. They're basically in range of that bubble spot. Another upper bracket spot secured, but this is all about the win. Laying it all on the line. They know they got that one elimination onto Axe Force, and they're just waiting to kind of clean up this other one. They're just cutting off all exits with Vico building around. Kido tries to make a quick peek, lands a great shot onto Vico, but just the numbers game is just too much. But you talked about the third party. Look at that team waiting on the other side of the mountain for this fight to finish and for them to try to rotate over.
They know Vico and Pink now on thin ice have to decide what's the play. Do they know that the third party's waiting for them? Are they going to go directly towards them? Or will they try and kind of go around? It looks like Pink has to be careful. He's walking right into their trap here. It's Deathtrue who could put an end to Pink.
That's going to be a great opportunity for them to do that, especially pushing him in towards the zone. HP being gone before they step their toes in it themselves. Vico trying to slide down the mountain. No choice but to leave Pink by himself before he quickly tries to reunite. And I like this. He knows he has them in the zone. He knows they're going to be losing a lot of HP, forced to use their resources. Just reposition. You're right there on the edge. You could try to gatekeep them out, but I do believe they got the damage that they wanted. Let's just try to disengage, especially depending on how far the zone actually pulled at this stage in the game.
That could have been a lot worse for Pink and Vico, to be fair. They had no clue that both players were there, and they honestly might have even been able to knock down Pink, but without doing so, now both duos have just chose to go their own paths here, go their own way, make it to zone once again. Chicho Trulex, we saw them have issue with Storm Surge in the last match, even though they have a very good strategy for getting those tags. But now that they're more on the edge of the zone, you can see this is the opportunity where the players do have to rotate through them, and hopefully they've been able to get more damage.
I like this quick rotation on out of Restore Growth. They could have stayed there in those towers in that position. A lot of teams from the north, even the west, are going to have to rotate on in, but it's little moments like that. Rotate, get a better spot, kind of do it all over again. And Chicho's just getting opportunities for anybody just trailing them to land shots just like that, which is going to help in their Storm Surge. I think every single game, this is a team that adapts, that learns, that figures out what went wrong and why, just so they can fix it before the next game starts.
From calm to aggressive here, Raban and Fastroki close to the Grim Gate here. Is this a battle you want to take? 36 duos up. Second to last match of the day, as I believe Zohan and his duo here are going to choose against the fact, or they're potentially just going to try and make their way, I was going to say into zone, but they're actually going further back, deeper into zone here. So it seems they do not want to take this engagement, kind of telling Raban and Fastroki, you know, if you want to battle us, we're just going to keep going deeper and deeper in zone. It's not going to be a good idea for the both of us. So now they have seen that, and they will make their ways away. I see Thomas HD, Queasy as well being up. I think this is the match where they're looking the healthiest out of anyone we've seen today. Full materials, full loadout. And with the 2 eliminations, they also have a decent amount of damage. So I like the odds for Thomas HD and Queasy in this match. But right as I speak, Queasy gets cracked. I do not know from where. But the tables could turn quickly here.
This team was just waiting. They're just eyeing them from above. I feel like if they would have heard Queasy's shields go down, they probably would have tried to pounce on the situation. I would say luckily for Queasy and Thomas, though, is unlike some of the other games that we played so far, is they do have a shorter distance to this zone. So kind of leaves less to worry about at this stage in the game. But what they don't know is Destro and his duo are just kind of hunting them, and they're even going towards that same layer. Queasy looks in the direction, probably spotted him out at the last second. Blessing in disguise there, because now they're able to prepare for a fight that may or may not happen.
The second time Destro has tried to play it a bit slow here and find an opportunity, but once again unable to, as the awareness from Thomas HD and Queasy has paid off here, as they'll just refarm now what they used up to build these boxes. And from what I can see is they are not worried about damage at all. They just want to prepare themselves for the late game here.
With 2 games left, it's kind of a situation we honestly would never expected Queasy and Thomas to be in to the start of the season, getting their first eliminations of the day in that last game. But you can see that they're heating up. They got 2 more eliminations, the same team that they singled out in that last game as well. So finally probably found a game plan to get that early game surge, some extra loot. And if they don't win it here, I can see them try to mimic it yet again. Sky and Scroll just boxing up, changing elevations towards the side of this bridge. And with 40 seconds left, they're just waiting to see where this next zone pulls before they make it next rotation through.
Sky and Scroll held height longer than any other returning duo from day one. So it's been surprising to see them get eliminated off the start so much. But it looks like this game now, they're going to be getting into late game a lot healthier. So hopefully they can make something happen. X-Squeeze now. Another one of the Manny duos that like building those surge bases around this center part of the map.
There's a lot of teams kind of towards this fencing field area. I like that stat. 32 of the players competing today are trying to make their first FNCS Grand Finals. And we've already seen one player achieve it, make it happen. Every season, I always see there's at least one duo, one player that really rises to the occasions, takes on the superstars of the region, and reaches that grand finals. It's all about those learning experiences each and every time you jump out of that battle bus.
Flowberries being popped here. Just trying to get themselves back to a healthy position. Jannisz Flickzy, though. Looks like they need to make a rotation into zone, so I believe that they're going to head to the launch pad here. Hopefully there's no players on the edge of zone here that are looking back. I highly doubt it, as there's no reason to currently, but you never really know.
Quick Flowberry Fizz, launch pad. Not only do they get higher up in the sky, being able to cover distance, they can kind of spot out all these teams that they're about to go past. 500 above the damage threshold thanks to their early game action. One elimination and a bunch of shots. And because of that Flowberry Fizz and the launch pad, you can see now they can kind of scout where do you want to land? What is going to be the perfect spot? And there's not very many good spots in the zone. Most of it is over open water.
Ooh, they found a player. It was Destru. They saw him as a solo, but decided against the complete aggression. His duo partner now behind them. Has taken some shots. Forced both teams to box up. Will the box fight happen? Will they both play their own game here? Moppy Kiro. Still a little bit to go before they make it to the edge of the zone. Crack comes through, though. Moppy now. Pressure's going to be on him. Will they continue applying that? Will the shots keep coming? Looks like not yet. As all they need to do is get a couple more boxes here until the inside of the zone.
Back on board this side of the map. Like I said, a lot of it being open waters. It kind of cuts back over towards Brawler Battleground, giving teams at least some land to stand on as soon as it opens up. But Pyros just gets taken down to just very little HP, and Storm Surge isn't helping either. Jannisz Flickzy talked about them being over 500 above. It's all about a waiting game here. Storm Surge still doing so much damage to those teams around him. Luckily for them, though, Jannisz and Flickzy cannot hear the Storm Surge until the shields crack, but that's neither here nor there. They go in. Jannisz with the first knock. Destru just dropped down to just 30 HP. Luckily, he gets the banana off in time, but they're still knocking on the doors, trying to make their way into the box. Not really given a lot of time to heal up, but it is going to drop down to a 1v1 situation. Destru versus Flickzy going for the revive. Good job for Flickzy to try to advance his way in, cancel that revive, and start one of his own.
They're going to trade the revive here. Both players going to get it picked up. Destru got what they wanted. They got enough damage, but Jannisz and Flickzy did not need damage, so that was a loss engagement for them. They used up a lot of shields now and a bit of materials, but with both players back up, I doubt they'll continue this exchange. Being in a good position in zone here, they could even just look at their surroundings and the players rotating in, but being not too elevated, there might not be a lot of openings. Pink and Vico, though, on the contrary, great position.
Yeah, you can see all that space now finally opening up. A lot of the teams towards the north had really no choice but to kind of stagger themselves there next to one another because they don't want to keep moving forward into that open water. Plus, it goes downhill into kind of like an open bowl that makes you so susceptible. Pink and Vico kind of knew this, planned ahead, especially that they come from the northeastern portion of this map. And they're going to be one of the first teams there into this open land, so they can position exactly where they want and refarm as much as possible before other teams start to make that journey over.
First player to make it inside 7th zone here is going to be Pink. Has the freedom of choosing wherever he wants to base up. Could be on top of a building here. Could even be closer to the edge of the mountain there. Kind of try and predict the 8th zone. But for now, it's just kind of refarming up the builds, picking up extra loot. Queasy Thomas HD, on the contrary, almost as far away from the zone as you can potentially be, with I believe a majority of the lobby is right now, getting the rotations in early.
Yeah, see him just trying to use the legendary banana, get that little bit of speed boost, refarm as much as possible. But the longer they take here, you see a lot of the other teams in the minimap overtaking the position. It's going to make it harder and harder for a team like this to try to rotate later on in the zone. But they are going to be up for a challenge, progressively getting better each and every game they have played here today. But Thomas and Queasy, that little bit of separation could be enough to kind of turn the tides, and that's why you see Queasy slowing down just a little bit, recycling the builds on top of the side of the mountain to try to quickly get there.
Thomas Queasy on the edge of the cutoff right now to qualify once again to the upper bracket. Last thing they want is to go back to lowers. So either maintain their consistency here and get a decent end game, or finish it off and just get the VR. This could be their match. The healthiest they've ever been. Noms and Cringe, 72 below. They have that DMR, so potential to get those tags on the duos rotating in, but they're going to need to take more shots here. Just 17 seconds till zone closes. Maybe use this opportunity while they're getting shot at to trade a couple bullets back and forth, but still 72 below. The clock's ticking. Shots need to be connected here.
Yeah, there's really not too many opportunities that they're able to take advantage of. You've got a whole environmental building that's naturally there, crowding one side, players towards the east, not really given opportunities, no shots peeking through. Storm Surge is now going to activate as they fall 120 below the threshold. With a couple persistent shots like that, they're barely going to get above, but it's a whole different feeling as now that they're 92 above. This allows them to kind of prepare just a little bit more for the future, especially with the zone moving up mountains yet again.
Great job seeing that and trying to rotate a bit early after getting the tags, but still 33 below. Elevating themselves should open up more opportunities. They have more vision on the surrounding teams rotating in. Now's the perfect time to take shots if they can connect them. I saw the surge ticking. They're once again below, so the pressure is on them. X-Swedes, though, huge knock. Potential for another elimination here. His duo partner can group up with him. Player is basically boxed up here, but with such a far rotate, they don't have time to waste here.
Yeah, X-Squeeze doesn't really have builds to continue to fight against this, and there's a huge mountain in his side. I'm not sure what options he's really going to have with the zone now ticking him in. He tries to recycle. His teammate is there, doesn't get the Flowberry Fizz. X-Squeeze is going to go down. Buzz really had no choice but to leave him by himself. If he would have staggered and waited for the Flowberry Fizz, he would have fell to. Best case scenario for them is now left up to a solo.
All the players that have been able to rotate early have now capitalized on this to look back and take shots at the duos that are rotating in late. Jannisz, Flickzy, one of them, even elevated themselves a bit more. 8th zone closing. Now 9th has pulled even further east to the edge of the water there. This Hydro now might have just found a good amount of loot, but with the other duo taking it, not much has been left over.
Quick fight for the little piece control. They still have some bush bombs as Mappy and Kiro just on the side of the mountain hoping to go unnoticed. I think that might have been a blessing there for them. Actually, no, I think they got a far pull on the other side of the mountain. A little bit of a curse for Thomas Queasy from high ground, dropping down to the ultimate low. They find themselves positioned just right above as it goes down this mountain. That's going to allow for them to stagger themselves a little bit, look back, try to find some damage, try to find some eliminations before they continue moving forward. While Jannisz, Flickzy, they take a launch pad right above, and they're just going to float their way down. Let another team build up towards height, and they can easily overtake it.
This is one of the most, if not the most difficult zones we've seen in the semifinals so far, as Moppy has lost his duo partner. He has the Flowberry to give him that momentum boost and jump down this ridge, but it's highly likely that the zone is going to pull right back up. So you can see the players trying to keep themselves elevated and stay more on the top side of this hill. 5 more seconds left till zone pulls back. Howley, Nefrizzi might have to climb back up.
Yeah, just unfortunate. No builds in the middle of the water. That's going to be an easy elimination for them. As Thomas, Queasy still holding strong to their position, saving the dashes for as long as possible. The Buell Relvis try to attack from the other side, catch them off guard, but their awareness is just top-notch right now. 4 eliminations so far. They're looking to extend that lead. Queasy just looked like he was in a tough spot, forced to separate Thomas momentarily. As high ground, you look up, it's going to be a new team right above, Pink and Vico, with how little time they've actually spent on the high ground. If they could solidify a win here, that would be perfect.
Right as they had it, though, got cracked, and it's now Jannisz, Flickzy, who have overtaken the throne, looking to hold on to it. They still have the loot, 100 tag, cracking his opponents, but Thomas HD as well, down to 22 HP, gets boxed, gets knocked. Queasy now left alone.
Yeah, he was stuck by himself, but they do have the Grim Gate Mythic loot. If anybody can do it, it is going to be Queasy. Nice shot. First one's going to go down. He needs to figure out a way to get that loot because he doesn't really have much build. Back to back, Jack. Queasy does it again. Another elimination, and all the resources, all the builds at the perfect time.
Queasy charged up, looking electric as he continues to zone. 3 elims on the board, boxed up once again, has a good amount of materials, but be careful here. The zone, it's elevating. You gotta climb the mountain.
And Jannisz, Flickzy, they're just looking down from above, focusing on one team at a time, pressuring them to fall down. into the Shark Tank that is down below. Vico gets eaten up. Pink now with no build, trying to find his way up. Big flank, big shot, just trying to mantle his way up the mountain before he runs out of time. One more tick to take. Pink with the hair on his chinny chin escapes narrowly to survive.
No materials though, just 10 HP, but it takes out Queasy. Gets knocked down though. Flickzy, Jannisz, cleanup crew.
From high ground, zone after zone, Pink and Vico, they may have rented it for a short time, but they returned it back to Jannisz and Flickzy, who have smooth sailed in one of the hardest zones of the weekend to not only take the game, but take their spot on that battle bus. Destination Finals.
They made it happen. You said it yourself. The most difficult zone we've seen in the semifinals. Pink and Vico tried taking that high ground, but Jannisz and Flickzy were quick on their toes, retook it instantly, and held it all the way to their golden ticket to the grand finals.
Yeah, and they're one of the teams. They missed out on a round 4 weekly qualifier. They were forced to play through the lower bracket, but they weren't scared. They didn't back down from a challenge. They played a couple games out and they finally have solidified their place. And honestly, just like so many other teams we've seen so far, I feel like it wouldn't be a finals without Jannisz and Flickzy.
With 4 games down, there's just one more game to be played out today to see who is going to be the last duo making it to grand finals. But before that, I want to check out that leaderboard. So let's head right back over to Frankie.